We start tonight with a look over our nation's capital as the government shuts down after failing to pass a funding bill. 2 funding votes failed in the Senate today, affecting millions of federal workers. Now the Senate is expected to vote again tomorrow, but it remains unclear whether anything changes.
Meanwhile, the blame game has started with each side blaming the other. Tonight, lawmakers voted on 2 plans, one by the Democrats and one by Republicans. The Democratic plan would have extended Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversed cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, but it failed on party lines 47-53. And moments later, the Republican bill failed 55-45. Lawmakers are now pointing the finger.
The Democrat caucus here in town, in the Senate, has chosen to shut down the government over a clean, nonpartisan funding bill.
Their bill, they call it clean, we call it totally partisan. There was no input from Democrats. Not a single line in their bill had input from Democrats.
President Trump is now threatening mass layoffs, and more than 4 million employees are expected to go without pay. The president's budget director posted on X that federal employees should still report to work to help carry out the shutdown. Most Americans may not notice changes immediately, but keep in mind, Northern California is home to 2 major Air Force bases, and the impacts could be immediate.
ABC 10's Garshpal Sangha explains the impacts and what it was like during the last shutdown in 2018 and 2019.
The partial government shutdown has begun. That means federal employees could be furloughed or laid off. One of the biggest impacts locally could be to Travis and Beale Air Force bases. The bases will remain open and military members would keep working but without pay. Beale Air Force Base tells ABC 10, depending on the length of the shutdown, it could impact the readiness, saying in part, quote, "Every member of the Department of Air Force is crucial to accomplishing our mission, and we remain hopeful that a government shutdown will be averted. Should a shutdown occur, daily functions will continue, accomplished by active duty airmen and guardians."
This has been happening for the past, it seems like 8 years now.
Federal workers like firefighters could also be working without pay. The National Federation of Federal Employees say federal workers are used as pawns in political battles.
You will be working without getting a paycheck. You pay your bills for 35 days straight without getting a paycheck and still having to drive into work. Can you imagine, you're going to go fight a wildfire and you know that you're protecting the communities and you're protecting the public, and you're not getting paid for it at that moment.
During the 2018-2019 shutdown, America's longest, workers missed paychecks for more than a month, sparking airport delays, debt, and second jobs.
Nobody wins a government shutdown. The American people lose.
Sacramento Congressman Ami Berra says even if Social Security and veterans' benefits continue, families may face delays. Berra's office says there are nearly 5,000 federal workers in his district, as workers could be required to go to work without pay.
But at a certain point, it's going to get to, hey, I need to put food on the table, and I'm going to have to get a second job and work at the night to go and make ends meet.
Members of Congress and the president would still get paid. Federal employees and military service members eventually get back pay, but as Gutierrez points out, that doesn't help when the rent is due. And speaking with some people off camera, they're hoping that this shutdown does not drag on, where federal employees start calling out sick and having unintended consequences. Reporting from Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield, Garshpal Sangha, ABC 10.
Garshpal, thank you. Also tonight, the Department of Transportation says more than 12,000 employees have been impacted by the government shutdown. The department says of those thousands of employees furloughed, more than 11,000 of them are from the Federal Aviation Agency in charge of our nation's airports. We're told more than 13,000 air traffic controllers will still have to work but will not get paid. But hiring and training for air traffic controllers will continue.
Now, even though the government is now shut down, Social Security payments to senior citizens and other Americans will continue. The Social Security Administration released an updated contingency plan just this week. It will continue to handle new applications, appeals, and certain services, but some internal functions will not be available during the shutdown. The move could also mean recipients will have to wait longer to learn how much their monthly payments will increase next year.